Guys, Paul Morrow for Robstes.org. So right now, the rumors are flying hot and heavy that Mayor Eric Adams, mayor of New York City, has indeed been indicted. As of right now, Wednesday night, the indictment has not been unsealed. Rumor is, and it looks corroborated right now, that the indictment will be unsealed tomorrow, Thursday morning, with the mayor actually surrendering next week. But Mayor Eric Adams appears to have been indicted here in New York City. Stay tuned. We're going to be following it.
Welcome to Unity News. Remember, there is no need to fear. God is in control, and Jesus is King. As Christians, we are called to bring heaven to earth, standing firm on the rock of our faith. Now let's get into today's news. Today, we'll be discussing three critical stories: the indictment of New York Mayor Eric Adams, the ongoing hypocrisy in sanctuary city policies, and the unraveling of the Democratic establishment from within. Let's explore how these developments expose the truth behind the mainstream narrative and how God is working in all of it.
My fellow New Yorkers, it is now my belief that the federal government intends to charge me with crimes. If so, these charges will be entirely false, based on lies. But they would not be surprising. I always knew that if I stood my ground for all of you, that I would be a target, and a target I became. For months, leaks and rumors have been aimed at me in an attempt to undermine my credibility and paint me as guilty. Just this past week, they searched the home of our new police commissioner, looking for documents from 20 years ago, just 1 week after he joined my administration. Enough. I will fight these injustices with every ounce of my strength and my spirit.
New York Mayor Eric Adams indicted. Breaking news. Democrat Mayor Eric Adams has been indicted on corruption charges following a federal probe. While the details are still emerging, Adams claims he is a victim of the same lawfare tactics used against President Trump. What's significant here is the irony. Adams, who once stood by as Democrats used the legal system to attack conservatives, now faces the same system turning on him. The positive. This is a reminder that God is not mocked. Those who attempt to misuse justice will eventually face the consequences. This is a chance for New Yorkers to demand true godly leadership in their city.
It was yesterday you said you're on pace to spend $5 billion on migrant care in this fiscal year. To give people some perspective, that is more than the city spends on sanitation, parks, and the fire department combined. So you're asking for money here. Do I have that right?
A combination, more than money, because the faucet is flowing. We have to stop the faucet. We have to make sure we have a real decompression strategy at the border. And we have to ensure that we have real immigration reform, because it's going to continue. It's not sustainable. When you look at 10,000 a month, the math just does not add up.
Hypocrisy in sanctuary city policies exposed. Mayor Adams, who once championed New York as a sanctuary city, has found himself at odds with the Biden administration over the crisis at the southern border. Texas Governor Greg Abbott's decision to bus illegal migrants to New York laid bare the hypocrisy of Adams' stance. Initially, Adams was all for open borders, until the migrants landed on his doorstep. Mayor Adams, who once championed New York as a sanctuary city, has found himself at odds with the Biden administration over the crisis at the southern border. Texas Governor Greg Abbott's decision to bus illegal migrants to New York laid bare the hypocrisy of Adams' stance. Initially, Adams was all for open borders, until the migrants landed on his doorstep.
Eventually, this was going to come to a neighborhood near you. Having someone embedded is a good start. That came from the Secretary of Homeland Security. We want to thank him. But I've been very clear on what we need. We need to control the border. We need to call a state of emergency, and we need to properly fund this national crisis.
Democrats begin turning on each other. As the pressure mounts, we're seeing Democrats like Adams now openly criticizing the Biden administration. The once solid Democratic front is crumbling as lawfare, which was once used to target conservatives, is now being turned inward. This internal division shows the instability of any political system not built on truth and righteousness. What's hopeful? The Bible tells us that a house divided against itself cannot stand. Mark 3:25. As we see this division, it's an opportunity for Christians to rise up, promoting unity, truth, and moral leadership based on biblical principles. Isaiah 10, One says, "Woe to those who decree unrighteous decrees." God's justice will always prevail. As we witness political leaders facing consequences for their actions, it's a reminder that all power is subject to God's ultimate authority. We declare that God's justice will shine through the confusion of these times. May the truth prevail, and may leaders of integrity rise up in this nation. God is working, even in the chaos, to bring His kingdom to earth. Be sure to subscribe to Unity News, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. May God bless you and your families. Remember, we are called to be salt and light in this world. Stand strong in faith, for the best is yet to come.